Good evening. Shock assault allegations are tonight threatening to tear apart the Victorian Liberal Party. MP Moira Deeming is accusing former opposition leader Matthew Guy of assaulting her at a community function, claims that could shatter the party's election hopes.
Moira Deeming claims this is Matthew Guy assaulting her last month. He denies it. Mr Guy leans across Ms Deeming's staff member and puts his arm around the MP's neck. She says it was a vice-like grip. Just minutes before, Mr Guy posted these photos of the two politicians seemingly happy together. Event organisers had no idea there was a problem until...
This morning when you guys gave me the call, there were no incidents that got brought up by anyone.
From Opposition Leader Jess Wilson, currently touring all electorates, this matter is now with Victoria Police, and it would be inappropriate for me to comment further.
These are questions that go to the heart of the leadership of the Liberal Party.
Although, on big build corruption allegations, the Premier previously deflected some questions like this.
So I'm not going to second guess Victoria Police.
The government also posed 10 questions to the opposition leader, mimicking a Liberal tactic.
If these subjects of the allegations are members of her caucus, is it appropriate that the alleged offender sits in her party room?
Liberal Party staffers said Jess Wilson's Fresh Start tour was continuing in electorates around Melbourne today, but they would not say where and stressed media were not invited.
We're in Sunbury this morning.
On her social media, no mention of the potentially damaging crisis.
Is really going to derail the party in terms of its organisation, in terms of its unity, and really the perception of the party for the public.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
And state political reporter Paul Dowsley has the latest. Paul, this could have been settled quietly weeks ago.
Mitch, I'm told Moira Deeming gave Jess Wilson the chance to resolve this conflict internally without police involvement, but they couldn't reach a compromise, so police were informed. Now it is out of the Liberal Party's control and will drag on when it could have been settled without this ugly and damaging public spectacle. This morning, Jess Wilson was set to have a regular news conference, but at the last minute, she cancelled it. This is a disappearing act that made it look like she was hiding. But Jess Wilson can't hide forever, and she can't say no comment because it's a police investigation. That might appear hypocritical given she comments regularly about police investigations like machete attacks, home invasions and fire bombings. Leadership is fronting up, facing tough questions and giving meaningful answers. This whole mess, it's something that the Premier and Labor will seize on now for months, pushing the line that the Liberal Party isn't united and it's not a tight team. You should get used to hearing about that from them right up until the election. That, Mitch, is now just 5 months away from this Sunday.
Paul Dowsley, thank you. A humanitarian disaster is unfolding in Venezuela with powerful back-to-back earthquakes shattering the South American country. The worst of it hit the Caribbean coast, more than 150 kilometres from the capital, Caracas. These are live pictures from the city where rescuers are desperately searching for survivors but are more likely to be overwhelmed by bodies. The official death toll stands at 32, but anywhere between 10 and 100,000 people could perish.
First the disbelief, then the panic and chaos. A woman and child managed to dodge falling debris, but nowhere is safe. At the airport, parts of the ceiling collapsed, travellers engulfed in dust. Look at what the earthquake has done, this man says. It's destroyed.
Acabado totalmente.
Here, a baseball game is halted as spectators rush the field. And at another stadium... Dazed and frightened, people emerge from their homes, many injured, some carrying pets to safety.
It's the heaviest quake I have felt in Venezuela.
The first tremor struck at 6 p.m. local time, magnitude 7.2. Seconds later, another, more powerful one, 7.5. Tsunami alerts were issued, later lifted. But the earthquakes have been enough to destroy so much. Entire streets levelled, home after home collapsing. This resident races downstairs, floor after floor, inspecting the damage. The lower they go, the worse it gets. Somehow this building is still standing. Roads cracked and cratered, and out on the water, two fishermen watch the destruction unfold all around them. A state of emergency now declared. It was like a horror movie, this woman says.
Several walls collapsed. We're expecting aftershocks. I hope not, but we need to be prepared.
The mission now, find and free the trapped, the injured, those still alive. Rescuers finding some in the rubble of ruined apartment blocks, loved ones waiting, fearing the worst, knowing this may just be the beginning. It was a public holiday in Venezuela, so most people were at home in the early evening when the quake struck, many living in poorly built apartment blocks that have crumbled. Despite its oil wealth, this is one of the most corrupt countries on the planet, so rescue, recovery and rebuild will be difficult. All of this just 6 months after President Nicolas Maduro was taken by US forces and imprisoned. America now among the nations pledging support. And incredibly, this wasn't the only damaging earthquake today. A 6.9 magnitude quake struck northern Japan. At least 6 people were injured. And a 5.6 hit rural California, the biggest in that part since 1940. A violent realignment of tectonic plates across the world. But all the focus right now is on Venezuela and the race to find life among the rubble. Mitch.
Hugh Whitfield, thank you. Karl Stefanovic's 9 lives appear to have run out. He's now expected to be sacked by his bosses at Channel 9 after a controversial podcast and 20 years without a ratings win.
It was a killer question that's come back to bite.
Keir Starmer is a wanker.
And that was just the start. In a 55-minute podcast, Channel 9's Breakfast Family Man gave an open mic to British right-winger Tommy Robinson. He's anti-Muslim, anti-establishment, anti-immigration.
They're bringing in criminals, rapists, murderers.
But this is literally happening in Australia with the One Nation Party.
They talked crime, controversy, cancel culture.
God, I love you.
But by last night, 9 had heard enough.